No, you like to talk shit just like us.
Where are you at? You have to talk.
Better come and subscribe.
And go over to YouTube at Shit Talker.
You show, because you're not going to want to miss our stuff.
And I'm going to let you know. You know, today is Shit Talker, baby.
You wanna guess the color of Shit Talker's underwear? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Shit Talker. It is me, Charlie XTX, and I'm bumping that. And with me today, I have Lady Gaga. Hey, Gaga.
Baby, I could speak if you want to.
And then
Mama Ja, how you doing?
Chris Jenner.
Oh,
You're gonna say something or no?
you wait.
Oh, this is gonna go just as much as this episode was. It's gonna be bad.
Because you don't know what you're doing. Chapel, what's tea, babes?
You were so rude to me at the Grammys. No, you owe me a fucking apology. Good luck, babe.
Good luck, babe.
Good luck, babe.
Sabrina, baby, I want you a lesbian.
Oh, I leave quite an impression. 6 feet to be exact.
And we can't forget our special guest, Kim Petras.
Hi, I'm Kim Petras, Germany's trans icon and princess, also known as XANA from Canada's Drag Race Season 5, the production plant, the villain, and the alternate winner, if you think about it. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes. Wake it up.
Hi, XANA. It is so nice to have you here with us on Shit Talker. Obviously, it is me, Canary, my sister Flor, Salmon, Chanel, and Chris. We're always here with you. I know last week I did say that Shit Talker will be here every week. It's me, your host, Canary Mirror. Of course, here every week. Never taking a break. Never. I may have lied because we were not here last week because footage did indeed get lost, but we're back. We're still back. We have a literal Snatch Game winner to go over the Snatch Game episode. Dana, that is hard work right there.
Yes, it was very hard because I had to watch everybody else suffer. So, listen. I'm gonna say this for everybody in the room and everybody listening. Snatch Game is one of the hardest things you could possibly do. Imagine trying to be funny when you're not in a room full of people who don't give a fuck that you're there. It's not fun. It's not fun. We've all performed in a room full of people who don't give a fuck, not even giving us a pity tip. That's what Snatch Game is like. No one's getting pity tips. That's for sure.
That being said, Ariete comes in off of her win last week of the ball, and Lana Jarre sent her Mona Lisa home, and everybody is praising Lana's lip sync skills. Chanel, when you saw this, what were your thoughts on them praising Lana's lip sync skills? What were your thoughts on the lip sync last week?
I personally loved the lip sync, but they were indeed doing a lot. They were acting like she went out there and did a triple backflip. She annihilated Miss Hormona, like she took her wig off, beat her with it. In reality, she did just kind of touch her toe to her head, which was sickening. But I agree with whoever said it. They were acting like she was Jesus herself walking in that workroom. But it was good. I liked the lip sync.
It was a good lip sync, but the girls are gagging, and Sam is not too gagged, so that's that. And then everybody is praising Ariete, obviously, for her win, and she's the runway girl. Xana, on your season, who do you think was the runway girl? Like, if you had to pick one.
Honestly, it was Minnie.
Gagging.
Minnie pumped that runway every single day in like a $10,000 garment. We're all like, Jesus Christ. So yeah, she's definitely one of those people. But I mean, I think Ariete is obviously coming from a completely different galaxy and perspective with her runways, whereas like I feel like Minnie definitely had a lot of outside influences, where this is absolutely Ariete's like inner brain worm, like making this, like pumping it down. So
the next day, Ru comes in and lets the girls know that it is about to be the Snatch Game, honey. And the girls are gagging because the Snatch Game is such a big challenge, and to even make it that far, and let alone do well in it, is so hard. So the girls are kind of like, ugh. And this is the challenge that separates the good from the bad. Betty is who you did for your Snatch Game, Xana, right?
Miss Betty Page, absolutely.
Yes, God. Since this is the challenge that separates the good from the bad, what's your advice to somebody that would want to do Snatch Game?
My advice is, at least if you can look like the person, you don't have to be them. Snatch Game, I think, is the problem where back in season 2, you had to be that person, and it was a lot easier to just kind of fib it. Whereas now, people are trying to do something like Ariette's choice, for instance, Cupid, where that's a great character. There's nothing to reference, so that means you get to come up with it on your own, but if you can't do that, then it's going to be bad. So, like, if we were to do Gaga, for instance, you can't be Gaga. She's not like one of those people that is like naturally funny. You have to be yourself, kind of looking and emulating what Gaga would do as you. And I think a lot of people forget that that's like, you still have to be yourself in this. And if you are just not funny, it's not going to be successful for you. Also, all these fucking Twitter and everybody in between is being like, we need to cast 34 plus for the next season because this Snatch Game was rotted. I'm like, there was Aquaria, there was Gigi Good, there was Tatiana, so many younger performers who did phenomenal. It's just these performers are not Snatch Game, like improv people. And like, I think we saw that with a couple other challenges too, where people struggled. And it's hard. Like, it's not an easy thing to do. And if you're not being if you can't volley, if you can't come up with something quick, I'm sure these girls, if they had an hour to prepare each question, they'd be fine. But that's not how it goes. So.
Right. The girls are talking to each other about characters that they're doing, and we hear a few, and then Susie is talking about how she is about to demolish, she is about to win, she is very cocky with it, and honestly, at first glance, me personally, I would think Susie would do a good job. Chris, when Susie was talking about how well she was going to do, did you think, like, okay, I can see her doing well in this challenge, or were you like, girl, I'll say that? What was your thoughts?
No, yeah, knowing her personally, I feel like this is, like, such, like, a challenge that's up her alley. Like, this is what you think of with Susie too. She's a character. She puts, like, the characterization into her drag always. So, like, I feel like it'd be pretty easy to find someone that she could, like, put that into. And I think, honestly, we'll get to it, but I think the girls made it seem like she did a lot worse than she did in reality just because of the expectations. And I don't think that's fair necessarily. Because I feel like going into a challenge, everyone should be like, yeah, I'm about to do a good job. Like, I feel like no one should go into it being like, yeah, I'm probably about to suck in lip sync, but...
Alyssa comes into the room, and Alyssa is trying to give these girls some advice, doing the walkthroughs with Rue, which I think is so cool, especially the Global All-Stars winner who's coming in. I think she's done good on Snatch Game once before, but she's normally not that great at Snatch Game. So I think for her to give advice is very interesting. The girls are doing the walkthroughs. A character that sticks out to me is Rosa Parks, because I'm like, we don't really know about Rosa Parks. Like, I mean, I know, but like, we don't know how she like spoke. We don't know how she talked. Like, too much about her, besides the fact of her bus story. And honestly, to make fun of that could be risky, and especially on TV. So I commend Lana Jarre.
Lana's choice of Rosa Parks is very similar to what Simone did. It's very similar to what Monet did, and it's like also I believe. Mo Hart also chose a character that was very similar in the same vein of like, this is someone we look up to, this is someone we respect, but they're kind of like, it's supposed to be impersonation but also satire. So like, Rosa Parks is actually kind of so smart. It's just she was relying on a joke that isn't a joke, that is just like so run down. And she's like, if RuPaul had said to me, is the bus still running? And my whole gig was that I was on a bus, the amount of material you would have to have about like the wheels on the bus, I was sitting in the back on time. Like, there should have been so much like rapport for her. And I think that's just like, she was ready to tell a joke that she had prepared for the entire time. And as soon as the joke was told, she was like, oh,
and RuPaul herself is so witty. Like, you didn't think RuPaul was gonna mention her own joke that she came up with
fully,
like,
before
you.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of like circles back to people. Like choosing like characters who are not real people. Like, if you choose a character who only knows like one thing, Rosa, what else can you like think of that everybody knows about her?
So you're calling Rosa Parks uneducated?
Are you calling Rosa Parks she's a fake character? Oh.
No, like Cupid, you can do whatever with, but Rosa Parks, like, how much do people know about her besides like her like acting?
She knows nothing but the bus.
That's what most people know.
I heard she didn't even pay for that bus. She just walked on.
Yeah,
and that's how Rosa Parks
That's why they really
died.
wanted her to move. They're like, it's not about race. You just didn't pay for it, girl.
Yeah. Well, from what I heard, she was actually not the first person to do that, and she was
that's not even her
she was
story.
the only person to be publicized doing it because it was about the activism. She knew what she was doing. She was a production plant.
Apparently, the
was the
real Rosa
villain.
Parks was like a
History
darker
lesson?
skinned girl.
Yeah. And how, as I, the Canadian, knowing more about this than the Americans, I don't know. But
Kim Petras, what you know about Rosa Parks?
a lot.
Not too much. Okay, let's get into who these girls are playing for the Snatch Game. So we have Acacia as Trisha, Susie as Ellen Green, Lexi Love as Gilbert Godfrey, Sam Starr as Kim Grubal, Lana Zare as Rosa Parks, Anya Nerve as Eddie Murphy, Ariete as Baby Cupid or Cupid, Lydia Butthole Collins as David Lynch, Jules Sparkles as Miss Bigfoot, don't forget the miss, Crystal Envy as Nicole Richie, which I also think is such a great character, and then Corey King as Big Ange, which is another great character. Let's get into the Snatch Game of it all, honey. So, we have Acacia as Trisha Paytas. Floor, what were your thoughts on Acacia's performance as Trisha Paytas?
Okay, she could have done more with Trisha Paytas, because Trisha Paytas, like, she could have done a mukbang right there in front of RuPaul. Her voice wasn't Trisha Paytas at all. Like, it wasn't giving Trisha Paytas, but it was a safe performance.
Salmon, what were your thoughts on Susie as Ellen Green?
That, chop that, like, ooh. Even if your answers are the same both times, that was a word for it, because I was,
It was a scissor?
If that's all you can mumble and stutter, then you would chop.
Chris Love, what was your thoughts on Lexi Love as Gilbert Godfrey?
I feel like as soon as she fucked up, like, I mean, I get that the judges thought it was, like, funny, but I kind of got thrown off as well as Lexi, like, in that moment. Like, I was prepared to, like, get a joke, and I didn't, so it kind of threw me off. I would have put her, like, safe, because it was funny the way she recovered, but, like, it wasn't funny enough for her to be in the top, to me.
And then we have Sam Starr as Kim Grubal. Chanel, what were your thoughts on Sam?
So I'm actually a really big fan of Kim Gravel and the whole Kim of Queens show and like the stuff that she does with QVC. So at first I wasn't really getting Kim from Sam, but as it went on, I was getting a bunch of her little witty references, like the tight 12 and a loose 14 myself. That was cute. Yeah. She wasn't fully portraying her, but I still got the vibe, so I was living. And then we have Lana Zare as Rosa Parks. Xana, what were your thoughts on this iconic performance? And don't say anything terrible about this bitch, because she fucking ate. So what were your thoughts, Xana?
Do you think she's gonna listen to this, or?
I have a feeling it'll get to her.
Listen! Lana as Rosa, this could be really funny. She could let us fucking have it with this character, even if she doesn't completely look like her. I know the wig was wrong. Apparently she forgot her Rosa Parks costume when she went to Drag Race, which I mean, like, girl. But there's been success around characters like this. It's just she wasn't able to take herself out of the moment and her prepared bit, which you need to be like, forget everything you know when you're at Snatch Game, and she just didn't do that. She was like, well, I have to say my piece, and now I can't. And then anytime she got a question, she was like, I drive. Like, she was just like coming up with like the worst random things versus just like coming up with something that could be funny, and she just it fell flat.
All right, and then next is Anya Nerve, and I personally thought Anya Nerve did a really great job portraying Eddie Murphy. I think it was so good. Probably, I think it stole the show. I think it was by far the best Snatch Game out of all of them, and it really just like Hercules, like, yes, I was living. Moving on to Ariete. Flora, what were your thoughts on Ariete as Cupid?
I don't know how to feel about imaginary characters, because I thought it's a great idea. Like, I'm gonna do the Chupacabra for Snatch Game, but it just fell flat because there's not much you could do with the baby. They don't know shit.
But I think this Snatch Game portrayed like how you could do an imaginary character good and how you could do it bad, but with Jules and
it showed you how you could succeed and how you could fail. So,
right. Kind of like how you
the example of how you fail.
How you could do like Kris Jenner, like you're bad Kris Jenner due to others, you know. So
thank you, next bitch.
Lydia Butthole Collins, what were your thoughts on her Snatch Game as David Lynch, Salmon? Somebody that lynches people often. What were your thoughts?
What the? Yo!
She was in her Simon makeup. I was living.
Choosing somebody you know is dry, especially with a group of 11 people. Like, you know you're not going to get that much time to make your jokes because there are so many of you. So why choose somebody who has, like, I went to the grocery store, I bought a vibrator. Like, why would you choose somebody who has, like, the most, like, flatline sense of humor? I guess she kind of made it work here and there, but personally for me, para mí, chapo.
Chris, what were your thoughts on Jules as Miss Bigfoot? As a big-footed person yourself.
Fuck you.
No,
but I actually think Jules ate for me. I obviously know Jules is a funny person, but I didn't know she was like this kind of funny. Like, this was like throwing me back to like SNL teas. Like, I could see a whole skit based around this character that she created. Like, it was so good. The characterization, the fact that like she made it like gay was so funny, and honestly, kind of reminds me of her auntie Trinity. How she made the devil gay.
That too.
So maybe she took some of her nachos for that, because that was a great idea.
Moving on to Crystal Envy as Nicole Richie. I want to know, Xana, what were your thoughts on this Snatch Game and the character and all of that?
So, it could work. It really could. I just think because Nicole Richie is so dry in her sense of like delivery, that only works in some situations. And if you're not going to be able to pick up on the funny, like she probably would have been good at what I did in the sense of like bantering with other people or making a joke about something that someone else said. I don't know if her answers would have actually lent themselves to the comedy of this character, but she's great in the Paris just said something and I'm going to have a response versus being like, what do you think? And she's like, I don't know, my dad's songs, there's so many. Like,
right.
Not, like even if she said like, if she was like, oh, my dad's song, the Cha-Cha Slide, I love that one. Like, she's just one of those people to confidently say the wrong answer. Like, that's how it should go.
And then we have Corey King as Big Ange. And my big sister Chanel, what were your thoughts on Corey King as Big Ange?
I was living the whole time. I feel like she was definitely one of the top contenders as far as like comedic relief in the Snatch Game. Like, she kind of brought in some laughs when we needed them. My only thing is that I feel like we have seen Big Ange done so well by Pearl, and I don't think she was really able to top it, because like some of the things that were coming out of her mouth were just reiterated phrases that we've already seen on Drag Race or little things like that. But I think she was smart in the way that she took the character in a different route. She was talking about her tan, which sent me. I think she did an overall very good job, and I wish we could have seen like a new character, but I'm not mad at what she did do as Big Ange.
It is Elimination Day. We come back into the workroom, and the girls are looking at Susie very interesting, because Susie is like, I just ate, I just tore, y'all are nothing, I'm about to get my next win, and you guys are trash. Was anybody that delusional on your season, Anna? Or was it just you? I'm just kidding.
It was me. It was just me. Oh, I was capital D delusion for sure. But I also went in with confidence. As we have the aforementioned, I was like, I'd rather be really confident about going into this and being like, I'm gonna suck. Like, right. Ew. Like, that's not what you're here to do. So yeah, it was definitely me. I think Uma definitely thought Uma's characterization of her Snatch Game character, I really don't remember what her name was, was great. It's just funny. She was just
trying to figure out who Uma God is.
Like, it was a character study for sure. But yeah.
Her multicolored makeup sponges.
I accidentally used the wrong sponge.
So it was just me specifically. I wasn't delusional that episode, but every other episode, yeah.
For sure. Wait, Xana, I have a question for you. Can you sing us a little bit of your verse? I kind of am in the need of a dance break a little bit. So you have it with you?
Wait, yes.
Yes, God.
Can I be completely honest? I don't know it.
Don't worry, I got you.
I'm sure somebody in here does.
Xana do? Xana don't. Baby, don't.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Don't.
I thought you meant the girl group one.
Oh,
That was my
not
favorite.
The
that one.
iconic
Yes.
one.
No,
We're
that's
not
the
friends,
one I
we're
want to
means to an
hear.
end, no matter how many notes you stand.
Got
You know
trying
what?
to
Blast
steal my
from outer space, babe. I don't know.
Got you trying to
I
steal
don't
my
need
meds?
friends.
I don't play
Honey,
pretend,
I got
baby.
friends.
You got major
Not you trying to
split
steal
ends.
my espresso? I don't play pretend.
Split ends.
You got major split
You got
ends.
major
First
split ends.
place.
Girl, the pen was on fire.
The pen was on
Listen,
To deliver an end of
Girl, you were in
case.
the stew with that one. Yes, God.
Listen, can I be here? Here's the tea. It was meant to be a diss track on a frenemy, 90s themed. If you look at my lyrics, everything that I said came from movies, everything that I said came from 90s references, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna make you the Lana version of this fucking bitch track. You're gonna come in on this Don't Call Me angle, and you're gonna just talk. And I'm like, thank you, Simone Denny. Thank you for
That
all
took you 90 seconds to write it.
quite literally. We had time, but we were alone. No one. We couldn't pitch this off of anybody. And then when we were in the fucking room to my girl group that I named and dressed, they were like,
Oh, wake it up.
Wake it up.
and then we got on the main stage, and they're like, "You seem nervous," and I'm like, "Don't fucking tell me what I am. I'm gonna tell you what I am." And it's not nervous. It's just hard to go first, and it's hard to record music because it takes time, and you make mistakes. But on Drag Race, it's iconic, and I don't remember anything else those other girls did, but my verse still lives on.
Yeah.
So.
No, literally, what did the other girl say? I don't remember.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only verse I'm streaming.
All those little fans were like, "Oh my god, she ate," and I'm like, "Say one lyric she said
Right.
quickly."
I can't
I'm trying to
remember.
come up with one right now.
Moving on to the runway, which we find out the category is nailed it. And can I see all your guys' hands right now to see how many of us are nailed currently? Ooh.
Bullet.
Ooh. Chris Love?
These are actually mesh nail like gloves. Like you can't really.
Yeah,
Are the
there's a
nails
nail
mashed
under.
too?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go
I
through
like
these
that.
Underneath,
Yeah.
like a little French tip, like Corey underneath.
Oh, we'll get there. Let's go through these runways and peep, clock, and clear these girls. And we're going to do pretty, shitty, and midi, as we always do. And starting with Acacia Forgot. Acacia Mother Forgot. Because don't you ever with her. This runway was fierce. I love this runway. Acacia has been growing on me in these past few weeks of the show. And I really do think she is a great drag queen. And Acacia did a great job. For me, this is a pretty.
I thought the execution of this whole look was everything. I loved the shapes and the shoulder pads and all of that. And I love the little penis that she had as a little addition. I thought that was a little cute.
I'm sure you did.
And I thought that this hair worked perfectly with this. I thought everything looked so good. So I'm going to give this a pretty for Miss Forgot.
I love the nails. This was a pretty. I love the fabric choice. Like, it was all shiny throughout the runway. Her mug was sat. This was a 10 for an Acacia, and I gasped whenever she came out that runway because she doesn't really surprise us a lot with the looks, but this was definitely one of her best.
It was fun. I think it's pretty for sure. I think for the concept of nailed it, it's pretty, like, the outfit's great for the runway and the idea and the theme. I'm like, okay, you have needles, you have syringes on your hand. Like, or yeah, she had something very like,
Yeah, she had
this
like
is
knives
the
and
idea.
stuff, like interesting things on.
Yeah, like I like that idea. I just feel like for nailed it, the outfit is beautiful. The theme was there. It was clean, safe. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not.
You're not gagging too
great.
hard.
I'm not. There was other people on this runway that I was like, that's a fucking concept. Thank you.
When I think nails, I feel like putting like syringes.
Who is in danger?
Somebody's
Sorry, I
in
live in a
danger.
really dangerous neighborhood. Sorry. Oh my god, America's invading everybody. We gotta go.
I thought Acacia's look, again, very like, I don't want to say predictable because it was a lot better than a lot of the things we saw on the runway. But overall, in terms of like execution, I'll give it a pretty. It was very well put together.
Acacia, the mother that you are so sickening because this look is the one. You look so expensive. You look so put together and polished, and like, not to be the one, but like, I've been waiting for it, so I'm really living. The mug was tea, even though I'm low-key sick of you doing the same makeup every week. Like, it's the neutral eye with the pink. Oh, okay. Ignore, but
Get out the mirror real quick and then let's get back
no,
to
yeah,
that.
I was like, kind of getting into the mug a little bit, but no. No, but yeah, you look really fierce, so I love this for you. This is a pretty.
Moving on to Susie Toot. And Susie, although you may be racist, this look is fierce. I'm just kidding, you're not racist.
Oh my god.
Holy cow.
This look right here is fierce. This look is very good. I love this look. I think it's probably one of my favorites. My top two looks. You and Acacia have my top two looks. So this is a pretty for me for sure.
I actually really loved this. I thought that the details of it were so smart, like throughout the wrist, the thigh, and down the leg. I loved all the spikes, and I loved that it was on the nails. When you looked up close, you could kind of tell that they were just like, you know, those cheap spikes you would find anywhere, and they were just painted. She was acting like they were some handcrafted metal from I don't even know what. But it was sickening. I love the makeup choices she made, so I'm gonna give this a pretty.
So she's one of the only people that actually like took the prompt as like nails and not just like, oh, here's a nail. And I think that's what kind of made her stand out the most for me. And I think it's definitely a pretty, but it's absolutely stun. Like it's like no one else really came out with a concept like this. I like the references that were made on this runway from other girls, but hers was just like kind of from left field, and that's how my brain works. So I'm glad that she chose this. I wish there was a little blood though.
Of course.
It's blood RuPaul.
It's blood RuPaul.
That's blood.
This was your big one, Susie. You did that. You may have started out a little bit rocky, but bitch, this was like the runway to like shut all the people on Twitter up. Like this, you ate that. You ate that. I saw people saying it wasn't nails, it was spikes, but nails are spikes, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was going
so you get my pretty look.
So I like that.
Mm-hmm.
She looked so good from head to toe. The reveal portion was so smart, and it was just literally like perfection, dare I may say. Like, I really loved it. I loved everything about it. The makeup was so good, and like, she did everything right. So Susie gets a big ass pretty bitch. Pretty ass.
Sure. Floor.
I will agree with XANA. She did have the strongest concept, and I love that because not many girls have concepts on this runway, but she definitely has. She uses the left brain. I do agree with that. It was really pretty. She's also giving like a little nod to Evie Oddly whenever she turned around and had that head in the back. That was sickening.
Moving on to Lexi Love, and to me, this was fine. Everybody on Twitter is like, her mug, and I'm like, it looks the same, it looks the same, it looks the same. I'm so bored. And I think it should be kind of amped up a little bit more. It's gonna be a midi for me, sadly, but Lexi does always serve on the runway. I just think it could have been. I like the concept. I just think it could have been a little bit more. So like, what do Cher and nails have to do with each other? Not too much.
Is it a mug category or is it a nail category? Like, you can be painted or whatever, but if you're gonna wear some nails,
right,
you do that every runway. Like, I don't see the, like, connection. Like, okay, you're wearing nails. What else? Right. So, for that, I give it a midi. I just think it was a little bit, like, lacking in some sort of concept, but I saw the nail artist. Shout out to you, Diva. You ate that. Like, the hand painting, everything, you ate that.
Honestly, Lexi can sell me a garbage bag, a diaper, or whatever, and it's gonna look stunning. Cause she's just a model. I don't want to see nothing like you could buy. Like, I know where it is. I could see it on Amazon. I could add some stones to it and do it myself. Like, I don't want that on Drag Race. Even though it might be like a lingerie, like, this is the handcrafted beads from the gods of the artisanal seas. Like, I don't give a fuck. It looks like a $2 dress with stones on it. And for that, she gets a midi. But she did look great, and the mug was on, but don't act like it's a different mug. She just put some orange eyeshadow. Like, it wasn't different. It was just Lexi Love mug with the pink highlight. Yes, God.
Yes, God. XANA, what were your thoughts?
No, this look was very dark.
I said XANA, not Floor.
You know what, Eva? Take it. Take the mic.
Yeah, Floor.
That's
No.
Floor, you're outrageous.
Wait. So is XANA going or I'm going?
Just redo the intro.
Okay.
Christian, you can hit it.
Floor, what were your thoughts on Lexi Love's look?
Yeah, no, it was just pretty.
Was this a look that she like had to like struggle with? Because I know her promo wasn't delivered on time, so she covered herself in glitter.
This was
this
not
a look
struggle.
that?
No.
So
She picked that.
okay, was this a look for a different runway that she was like perfect? It just has long nails with Cher on it because I fucked up this Snatch game so bad. RuPaul loves Cher. I'm gonna walk down this runway looking like her best. Like,
As far as we know, she prepped this like
Okay.
when she was going to film.
Okay.
Because why would you get Cher nails made otherwise? Like, that was probably her
That was
you know
her
what?
outlook of
Fair.
Yvonne.
It wasn't my favorite. It's like beautiful look. Didn't care for this runway. I don't think it really made any sense for me. And outside of like, I have Cher on my nails. Great. Okay. So midi for me.
So my first thought when I saw her come out is, yeah, I could pull that together. And I feel like I should never think that when I see a Drag Race runway. Is I should never be able to put it together myself. Like, you could probably find a Etsy crocheter to make this dress for you. I could stone this myself. You could find these chains. And I think that these nails that she added to this little harness situation is such an afterthought. I'm going to give this a midi because while she looks gorgeous, it's not too stunning.
Moving on to Sam Starr's nail runway, or Trinity's nail runway. This was fine to me. At first, it was cute, but then I was like, okay, so I know this look isn't yours, and I've seen it on somebody else, but it does look good on you. It just doesn't look like it is for you. And then the nails thing, it's not really nails, it's just like, and it just looks like syringes like taped to your freaking hands. And I don't think that is that cute. So for that reason, it's a midi.
So, I love glitter bomb wigs, but...
Get your PR sister.
Boy, what the hell, boy?
Chantel, give me...
You know that was a mess, Chantel. Why were them front hairs poking out like antennas, bitch? Like it was not giving. That wig looked like I've said before, like her wigs be giving Roblox helmet. This is like the Roblox helmet. Like if you threw that down a building, like it'd be fine. Like that's not good. Like it's too hard. It's too hard. So the wig was a chop. The outfit's not yours, so I'm not gonna like rate it because it's not your outfit. So I'll tell Trinity, but I'm not gonna tell you. But yeah, it's a midi because hell to the no. And the fucking syringes nothing looked custom. Like I know it wasn't custom made for you. The nails weren't custom for you. The hair could fit on a Roblox character, so it doesn't really matter. So it's a midi.
Yeah.
When it comes to Sam Starr's look, I'm willing to admit that to the naked eye, to someone who doesn't know, like, her family or who's never seen this look before, they probably would have thought this was sickening. And it is. It's very gorgeous. I love the concept of it. But, girl, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little tired of just seeing either Chantel or Trinity's outfits on her or their concepts. I want to see something of Sam Starr that either she didn't do before the show or that's not somebody else's. I want to see something fresh and new from her, and I'm not seeing it. I'm going to give her a pretty because it's not a bad look. We just seen it.
When you see the trailer for, like, the episode that we're on right now, you see plastic surgery, and then, like, instantly you can kind of be like, oh my god, she's gonna have syringes taped to her fingers, isn't she? And what did she have on her fingers? I knew somebody was gonna do something, syringes. I give it a midi.
Xana, what were your thoughts on Trinity? On Sam's look.
Yeah,
you got it right.
Look, as much as I'd like to say that she probably had all the money in the world to make this package happen, she probably didn't, and that's why she's borrowed, so I do understand that. If we're gonna do this, it needs to be a different color, it needs to be a different silhouette, it needs to be a different shape. Like, you need to reinvent that motherfucking wheel. If you're gonna do syringes on your fingers, they better be like a meter long. Like, make it bigger. For me, if I were to tackle this runway, I would have probably gone, like, Stigmata, Jesus on the cross, like give me the 9-inch nail. So like, if I'm thinking of that, and your drag mom Trinity the Tuck, and then another pageant girl are like, we have nothing for you, but here's this look. Like, we could have brewed a little bit more. The oven should not have been opened yet before we cooked. You know.
Put the cake back in.
Bury that.
Yes, God. All right, Flora, what were your thoughts?
It's midi. It's midi.
You ready, Corey, for wearing Monet Exchange's outfit on the cake runway? I'm gonna read you for that as well. I want to see your drag. There needs to be another gag level Like, imagine if the nails, like, if they actually, like, squirted out, you know, like, actual, like, water out of them or something whenever, like, she was on
Oh, you horny.
Sip out her lemon drops.
Sip on her lemon drops. And also change the shoe. I don't like the shoe. The red shoe, I didn't like it.
I didn't like
it. It was a midi.
Let's move on to our next girl, which is Lana Del. I'm not gonna say too much. Let me get my because keep it cute.
Oh my god.
Oh yes.
But
wait, where's the blow dryer? Hold on. I gotta finish it off.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, bitch, I'm laying your shit.
That's not.
Okay, that's flipped.
Lana, this look is fine. It's okay. It's a Violet Chachki reference, and Violet Chachki, I didn't see her nipple, so I liked Violet's a little bit more. This look.
We're not doing this today.
I also thought that the gloves should have been stuffed with something because the gloves looked really flat on you, and I think it should look like a hand holding you. Not that you have, like, some fabric wrapped around you. And I think there should have been clear straps, as you know, attached to it in a way. So for that reason, it is a midi for me. Love you, baby. Have fun doing your little kicks. What are your thoughts, Chanel?
I wanna correct you, Miss Canary.
Yeah.
She wasn't referencing Violet Chachki. She was referencing Arte.
Oh. Yes.
Clock it.
But what's more likely, for her to see the Arte one first or the Violet Chachki one first?
Well, that's why I wanted to bring it to everyone's attention. So she recreated Violet Chachki's reference of Arte.
Got it. Okay. Work.
Exactly.
That's how you end.
One thing
Did she show Jeffrey Kelly Violet Chachki or Arte?
Let's see those DMs.
One thing about XANA is she will be educated. So don't ever come to her without your information on the book, love, because she will clear you.
When I look at it, Lana, no matter how much nipple you show, RuPaul is not going to be sucking on your titties. You're not getting that high placement ever! This look, the flat hand coming up, it looked like a carpet kinda, but the stoning was very pretty. I think no matter what you do on the runway, you're gonna look pretty, and that's all I gotta say, but it was a midi.
So I was actually really in love with Lana's look. There was just a couple things that I feel like went wrong in the designing of it, like not on her end. The hand on her dress was just the fabric, and I feel like it needed something to stuff it or add a structure to it to make it really give that hand illusion, which it kind of just fell flat, literally, like it was flat fabric on her waist. And I also think that it's not just her, but it seems like a lot of girls who get their bodysuits made from this guy that they don't tend to go all the way up to their chest. So I just feel like that maybe not even a strap. If he would have just made the bodysuit longer to fit her torso, that would have solved all of this. But other than that, I love this look. I love the color palette. I think she looks gorgeous. Head to toe, I'm obsessed. I'm going to give it a pretty.
So this look is great. It's conceptually great. I think the reference is beautiful. I agree. Like most off-the-shoulder bodysuits will ride down. I'm literally wearing an off-the-shoulder crop here, but I'm not walking down the runway. That's like, if we're gonna have to do those things, you have to be prepared to move in them, and that's my bodysuit, the one that I actually got sent home in. I had the designer bring it up 5 inches so that if I had to perform in it, my nipple wouldn't come out. And that's literally just like, you have to think of those things. And obviously she may not have been in the same city as that designer, but outside of that, the reference is great. I think it was fine. I just think if her Snatch Game performance was better, she would have just been safe this week. So it just sucks that she was in the bottom and had to move in it, but that's it.
Yeah.
So I thought Lana looked like amazing, to be honest. I thought she looked beautiful. Her makeup is always flawless on the runway, and I thought her outfit, even though it wasn't the most unique thing ever, it still like gave me very signature Lana, and I'm not mad at it. So I'm gonna give it a pretty, personally.
Yeah, no, I love the fascinator on Lana's head. I also love the wig too. Vanity 8 with that wig, and I do agree that the dress, well, not the dress, the bodysuit could have been risen more, like 5 inches or more. Also, Lana, you're tall as hell. Why isn't the train longer? I wanted the train of the glove to be hella long, but it was just probably a few centimeters, but yeah. But everything else still looks perfect on her, so it is pretty.
Moving on to Corey King. I'll start, Corey. This I'm laughing at you, heavy. Corey Kia, because this is nothing to me, and I can't. It's a chop. Sorry. This is a shitty. And I think you know, and I think the internet knows. But drag is expensive. So, if that entitles you wearing
This drag
a
wasn't.
outfit. You say what?
This drag wasn't expensive. Maybe this is one of those things where a designer fucked her over. She literally had to make it happen. But the week prior, she didn't wear nails, which, girl, I didn't either on my season. Who cares? She could have gotten this anywhere. Like, it was not. She didn't even try to make it bigger. And I'm like, diva. Like, I get it. I totally understand if something went wrong. But like, you could have. We have access to so many resources on Drag Race that she could have tried to do something in that hotel room. This was just like, and then the shoe. The shoe was just. She's been struggling down in the shoe department. She needed more. She needed a little.
That's a given.
Girl, it's real funny to me that she was laughing in Susie Toot's face over her makeup, and this makeup looked just like a Susie Toot recreation to me. She got the lip down pat. She got a little rounder eye on. Why is she always wearing, like, the drag basics on the runway? Like, you gotta spice it up some kind of way, Corey. This is a chop. For a nailed it runway, I'm sorry, whatever gimmick you're trying to give, you gotta push it past your limits, do something bigger. For Drag Race, I'm Not Living is gonna be a shitty for me.
This is so simple. Rico Couture could make this. No, not Rico Couture. Rico Apparel.
You're triggering, Maddie.
Another $10 wig. So maybe you and Lexi bought yours at the same time. Like, hey girl, I'm gonna sell you $10. Get me a wig when you're getting yours. Like y'all just had the cheapest wigs possible. I was not living. You got a shitty this week, and I hope you have a few more weeks to give me that pretty. But I don't know.
You know how to proportionize with your pads and stuff, but your outfits aren't reflecting that. Like, you as a person with pretty large, hefty man, big, huge shoulders, why do you make the bodysuit like? What? I don't get it. It makes the head look really itty bitty. The mug, the hair, the little toenails on your fingernails, I wasn't living for none of it. It's just shitty.
The makeup was really iffy on me. Like, in the outfit, like, I could literally tell Rico to make this, like, and he'll have it done by next week. And, like, the tiny hat with the tiny nails, it was just reading puzzle drag to me. I didn't like it. It was very simple. It's a shitty.
Moving on to Crystal Envy. I personally think Crystal Envy's look is fine. I think it's a midi. I think stop laughing. I think it could use ears or something else to make it a little bit more animal-like. But I still think it's pretty good. I think it's a midi for me.
So as far as Crystal's look goes, I wasn't too impressed with the execution of it. I like that for nails that she thought to do something with claws and that she carried it down to her feet. I just thought the makeup was a complete miss. The fur just looked really bulky on her. I don't think that the silhouette made any sense as far as a werewolf's body. I'm going to give it a midi because it's not terrible, but I don't think that the vision was complete.
Crystal Envy, this was not my favorite look. I think the way that the fur was cut out on the cat suit just gave me like hip pad shape, and I feel like it could have been put in different areas to really accentuate your body, and I feel like it just didn't do that. And I really, really hate this prosthetic on you. Like I've said in the past, you know, all I'm gonna say is I don't think you needed it. That's all I'm gonna say. Or maybe put it somewhere else. It shouldn't have been like a nose, like more into like the wolf fantasy. The mad wig was cute, but it's just like we've seen it, so it's midi for me.
I like it from the waist up. I believe that she should like draw like hairs like on her like contour and make it seem like there's hair coming down her forehead or down her cheeks. Like it could have brought the makeup there, and I think the nails like could have been more vicious and more longer, and maybe have like, even a little bit of blood on it or something. And from the waist down, it's a little bit of blood.
A little bit of grit and grime.
A little bit of grit.
A little bit of grime.
Yeah, no, but from the waist down, it just seemed very ill-fit. It didn't seem right from the waist down. So yeah, it is a midi for me.
Now I can't. Oh,
girl,
like for a second
no, we cannot. We can't. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can kind of hear you. It's choppy.
It comes in and out.
Yeah. Crystal's runway, the concept was, I get it. I just wish the werewolf nails were like the actual like clear claws if she was gonna do that. I think the prosthetic was a miss. She should have done a prosthetic snout, not a forehead. And I wish the bodysuit was actually like had the fur attached. This looked like two separate pieces that she put together versus like something that was sewn on, which I think would have been better if it was more of like that Dua Lipa bodysuit kind of vibe with fur. So that's what I was missing. I love that she put claws on her toes. I think that was like what a fun detail, but it just didn't really read as well as it could have on the runway. So it's a midi.
When I saw Crystal's look, to me it was just too real. It was too animalistic, too grungy and grimy. It looked like it came out of a ditch. It was giving a little bit of roadkill. Props to you for like committing to it and going 100, because if not, if I saw you doing like a little and you look like that, like how you looking, then it would be a chop. I'll shitty.
So moving on to Jewel Sparkles. I actually think Jules looked really, really sickening in this look. I love her in black hair. I love her with like a classic black and white Jewel Sparkles eye. The silver all looked really expensive. Nothing looked cheap on this outfit. Well, maybe the fur, but I still think it was really pretty. So she gets a pretty.
It's really nice. It's very futuristic. It didn't read nails. It read like gloves with like fur on it. But honestly, I'm gonna let that slide because it's still pretty. And it still like had like long nails and it was like reading better than the other girls on the runway. So. Yeah, it definitely is a pretty.
So when she came out on this runway, she was talking about her spinal surgery, and I was like, I know there's nails in her spine then, but I'm like, this bodysuit is not reading that. And I think like the fur was probably something it could have been left off of it. Other than that, it was cute. I think it was like pretty. It's definitely better than other things that came down the runway, but like it was safe. She was safe for sure.
I love this look. The one thing that's really sticking out to me, that stuck out to me before about a Jewel Sparkles runway, is that her corset or like this top is not really fitting her chest the best. It's kind of a little bit too narrow. I love that she plays with asymmetry a lot. So like this headpiece is like one thing on the head and then she's got something on this other shoulder. I just think that all the details are really thought out and it's overall very, very pretty. So I'm going to give it a pretty.
Like, fully agree. I like how Jules, she goes from pink and cutesy Ariana Grande impersonator to like silver, like dark, like slicey fingers. Like, I don't know. I love that she can go from one end of the spectrum to the other, because then she's not going to get that little critique that's like, you just keep giving us the same old cutesy Jules. So overall, I think she was very smart in choosing her package. So I'm going to give her a pretty. That was pretty good.
So now we're going to move on to Lydia Butthole motherfucking Collins. What do you think, Xana?
I thought she had the most creative look on the runway. I think conceptually she didn't really reference anything. Maybe she did, but not to my immediate like, oh, she's done this. So I think like hers probably coming down the runway, maybe Ariete, she had a little bit more of that kind of, she didn't really reference anything. This was like her idea, which I appreciate. I think it was cool. I think the headpiece was fun. I liked the length of her nails, which is what I think Lydia's could have been like that. I think if we were going to go there, Acacia's nail look could have been bigger. And that's just what I wanted from this. But yeah, it was great. It's very pretty.
I didn't quite understand the story, but I feel like every time she comes out on the runway, she always, like, no matter what, she got that smile and she's like, I know I ate that. And for that, like, I don't think it's my personal, like, top favorite, but it's not awful. I'm gonna give it a midi.
Usually I'm so confused when I look at a Lydia look, like my eyes don't know where to go, but I thought that this look was so smart. It was well done. Your eyes could read what she was going for. I don't know about y'all, but I used to see this picture of this lady in like the Guinness World Record book who like grew her nails out super long and they like got really curly. So like I loved seeing like that interpretation of it. Like it just brought me back to those pictures. And overall, I was obsessed with this. Never seen anything like it. Overall, conceptually really cool, so I'm going to give it a pretty.
I don't know why she had, like, the headpiece of hands going around her head. I didn't understand that, but I loved the dress. I loved the nails. It reminded me of season 6 when Laganja was like, "Clock my nails." She's like, "Bitches all tangled." And so I was like, girl. I knew those nails were tangled by the end of the day. But honestly, it was very simple and very clean, which I haven't like seen very much from Lydia. So it's pretty.
I really liked that she did these long, like, weird nails. They just look really good to me. Like, they didn't look like Play-Doh. And I appreciate that from Lydia. And the makeup, her makeup is some of the best of this season, I have to say. It is always so clean. It's perfect to me. I wouldn't change a thing about her face. I love it. And yeah, the dress was gorgeous. It's nice to see her in, like, this kind of, like, gown, like, classic moment. And then, she put her Lydia touch on it with, like, the headpiece and everything. So I think it all worked. So I give it a pretty. Moving on to Arietti. She comes out in the runway in this little cat moment. And what do you think, Chanel?
I personally, as someone who loves to stone, who loves to embellish, when she came out and I just saw the ding, 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 like this thing was stoned down everywhere you look. She didn't miss a detail. I was obsessed with this like double hand moment, hands coming out of everywhere. Like, I would have never thought of that. So the fact that she did this to show off as many nails as possible was so smart. There's really nothing negative that I could say about it. So I'm going to give this a pretty.
Arietti's look was great. I think the colorization, like wearing gray on Drag Race, can be kind of like washed out. I think hers, because it was the velvet, it had so many tones, so much texture, it was great. I think the double hands were great. As someone who also did multiple hands on the runway, I love that. Mine also had massive nails. So I think it was great. And for someone who's so head to toe, when they got to the confessionals, I could see the break between her head, like her hood and the bodysuit, and I could just see her skin, and I was like, oh. But other than that, it was great. I think this is a very smart idea for Nailed It.
Yeah, Arietti, I think you did actually a really good job. I mean, I think the arm thing is a little, it's not as creative as people are making it seem to be. Like, it's just 4 arms. But I do think it was stoned down and it had a lot of detail in it. I love, like, the shoes, like the effect that they were, like, spiky kind of. I think that was so cool. And the makeup is always so good, so you can never clock her in the mug. So that's a pretty.
I think this whole look was very, very polished. The stones everywhere. I was like, oh, I'm in love. And also, like you said, Xana about the velvet, I think that was very smart of her to do. Like, the multiple, like, shifting tones from light to dark, that was everything. So, I'm gonna say you were very, very pretty, Arietti.
It's definitely giving me, like, a Steven Universe, like, gem fusion a little bit, because of, like, the 4 arms.
Wait,
like, there's, like, a stone here,
yes.
there's, like, stone there. I was like, wait, Steven Universe kind of tease. And the grayscale makeup was honestly like so perfect because it's really hard to do grayscale makeup, and everything else about the outfit was just very tea. I love how she dressed up as Lana Del Rey's cat. Like, it was
Good night.
Yeah, pretty.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the final look, and probably my favorite or one of my favorites of the night, Miss Anya Nerve. She sold this down. I got the story right away. I've been seeing people say, like, oh, I don't get it. It's just t-shirt and jeans. Well, you don't get it because, you are... But, it's for the girls that get it. She was like, y'all are not going to miss the nail part. Because it could have easily just been like, oh, it's the jeans and t-shirt. Where's the nails? But there's nails from head to toe. Her shirt says Anya Nails. There's nail polish going down her suspenders. The details are all there. And I really feel like it's camp and fun. And bitches don't want to have fun in drag anymore. Like, this is fun. Like, I don't care. It's not, like, the most polished thing in the world, but I really enjoyed it for what it said about Anya Nerve. So, this is a pretty for me. But what did you think, Xana?
I agree. I think the nails and the hair, I think the headpiece of the wig made it the look. Because if she had just walked down the runway in a normal wig, I would have been like, okay. So it sold its story. I do wish it was kind of more of, like, Simone's finale look, where it was a little bit more, like, heavier, because when she was walking, I could tell it is just a t-shirt. That's just like my only thing, but outside of that, I think the look was very, very fun. I love that she went camp with this in a way that it was like no one else thought of doing this specific thing, and even in her photo shoot, she's in a nail salon with the nail polish everywhere, so I think the whole package made sense for me. It's very pretty, very good.
As soon as I saw the hair and the colorway, I knew exactly that it was the glitter bomb wigs. She ate this. I love the like chandelier vibe that you get with all the nails. I love that she tied this like bandana train all the way down the back, tie-dyed in the same colors, and the way that she had the nail polishes on the outfit. And to me, that just shows that she knows how to drag up a pedestrian quote-unquote outfit. All around, it's just so pretty. So I'm gonna give it a pretty.
Baby, this was definitely like top 2, maybe number 1. Like, this wig was everything. Chantel, you may have had one little hiccup earlier in this evening, but you did your big one for Miss Anya Nerve. I love the way everything like moved when she walked. Like, that's chef's kiss. This was like incredible. So very pretty, Miss Nerve.
I love how bangy it was. I love the hair with the nails dangling, the nail polish. The attention to details are there, and it's very polished. Like, overall, though, it's pretty.
Well, that is the runway portion of this episode. And now let's move on to the placements and what happens in the episode. So in the top, we have Sam Starr, Lexi Love, Anya Nerve, and
Jules
Sparkles, yes. So those are our top placements of the week. And then for our bottoms, unfortunately, we have Miss Alana Jure, Crystal Envy, and Arietti. So I want to start with, what do you guys think about these placements? Do you guys think anything was like a majorly off, or like somebody you would have swapped in? First, I'm going to start with XANA.
I think the top placements make sense. And I agree with the Lexi Love one, only because as a comedian, that the character she was playing, if he was flopping, he would have improvised the flop. I just wish she committed to that, and she was like, no, that's exactly what I was doing. She made it very clear that she was like, that was not intended, and then they said it came back to camp. If she had just leaned into the fact that she was a flopping comedian on the Snatch Game, she could have been number 2. She could have been up there. Bottom placements make complete sense. I think those characters were just a miss, and it sucks because, like, obviously these are very creative and talented girls. It just didn't show through in this episode.
I think the girls who deserved their flowers got their flowers, and I think the girls who were in the bottom deserve to be there. I do think that Arietti could have seen that bottom too, though, if they wanted to, because she already been eliminated, quote unquote, and she did not eat this Snatch Game, but her runway definitely saved her.
I'm starting to get sick of the Arietti being saved all the time.
Girl.
I get it, her runways are cute, but I don't think it warrants her to be saved all the time. Especially when other girls did not do as bad in the challenge, in my opinion. I also think Lexi didn't really need to be in the top. We already had 6. We had 3 tops, 3 bottoms. I don't really think Lexi needed to be in the top. So I just felt like that was a little unnecessary. And I think she was very safe this episode.
I feel like Lexi should have been paired with the safe queens. But I do agree with the bottom placements. Besides, I would switch Crystal and Arietti. Because I felt like Crystal was a little bit more safe because of her runway. And I don't know, because Arietti, she was already in the bottom. Her track record, like, it speaks for itself. Like, she was almost eliminated. So I would assume that she would be in the bottom, but I guess RuPaul wanted to save her ass once again.
So we end up finding out that Anya Nerve is the winner of this week's challenge, which is the Snatch Game. And honestly, let's give it up. Yes, God.
Baby.
Yes.
Anya Nerve did her big one.
How
Doing
I
it, maybe,
look
Edie.
in out. Okay.
And yeah, Anya Nerve honestly steamrolled this week, in my opinion. I think there was really no competition. So I was so proud of her, and we all love you, Miss Anya Nerve. But unfortunately, that does mean we have to watch a lip sync. And wigs flew, so let's get into it.
Vanity unit flew.
Lana Jure and Crystal Envy ended up being the bottom 2, and they had lip sync to Hands to Myself by Selena Gomez. Yes, God. I live for that song. No, yeah, they did their big one with that. But what did y'all think about this lip sync, starting with XANA?
It was fine. I think both of them did a good job. Obviously, like, everyone's lost a wig. I would assume in this room, has everyone lost a wig?
Oh, yes.
Multiple.
Most of us have been there. It happens. It sucks that it happened on Drag Race. I think she definitely outperformed Crystal, but by like a percentage, like a couple nails. She did just a little bit better.
I feel like what saved Lana from her wig is like she didn't really like panic. No, she calmed down, picked it up, slapped it back on, we're good. And I was like, okay, yes.
This was definitely not one of those lip syncs where one girl mopped the floor with the other, because Crystal definitely held her own. She was doing some choreography and some bits here and there. It's just, it kind of had that frantic vibe, like, oh, I need to save myself. Whereas Lana was, like, confident in her abilities to kind of do what she needed to do. I feel bad that Crystal is going so soon after having such a good run so far. But Lana did kind of chew that little last bit of that lip sync up, and so I would save her too.
Overall, I think there was a lot of everybody on the floor crawling around. You stand up, you get back on the floor and roll around a bit more. I feel like there was a lot of that going on. But they did it very cutely, very demurely. So, it is what it is.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, so Lana was giving like really puss to me, so it just made her like Crystal look even crazier. Like when she's like spreading her legs, like feeling the song, and Crystal's just in the corner, like looking like a dog, like with rabies or something. Like I was just not.
And squaring up and shit.
Yeah, and she was real masculine. Crystal, your storyline this season is masculine. That's your storyline because you want to fight everyone. You're the trade of the season. Like you're just a dude in the season. But yeah, I think Lana definitely did a better job. Even though things were falling apart, nipples might have been out. Nigga nipples allegedly might have been coming out. It didn't matter to me because she was more in the song. She was feeling it, and she made it work. We love you, Crystal Envy, but sadly, you know, the cookie crumbled how it crumbled. So much love to you, sister. And I'm sure we'll see you in the future because you are a star and you did a great job. So, yeah, I really live for you. It just sucks that you have to go home looking like a Neanderthal because you don't deserve that.
Neanderthal.
Oh my god.
They love to get the girls like that in like one of your worst outfits, and you have to lip sync and be cunt, and you're like,
no, I feel like they're like, who looks crazier? Like we gotta send that person home.
No. They didn't want to see Ariel with all four. They didn't want to see all four hands go. They didn't want to do this. So
Maybe.
Yeah, this was Shit Talker. Thank you so much, Xana, for joining us. This was such a great episode.
yeah, thank you for having me. As you know, as the first eliminated queen of 2025, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad Crystal can join me in my club. And yeah, I had such a good time meeting all of you and getting to shit talk. So thank you for having me.
Yeah,
of course, Diva. You were a Kiki.
I was about to say you were everything.
Would you rate me better than other guests?
Absolutely.
You're definitely up there.
Better than
for
most.
Sure.
I'll take it. I'll take better than most.
We like when a girl can talk.
We like when a girl actually has something to say. She takes notes. She actually knows what happened in the
right.
episode.
You were on it.
Like,
I almost took control of the whole podcast. You know,
right,
We will catch you guys next time. Feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, and make sure to like. And if you want to donate, here's where you guys donate. Nobody has done it yet, so be the first.
Do your big one because we want to shout y'all out.
Yeah, we'll give you a shout out.
Yeah, we want to shout you guys out. So send us that coin. Don't make us beg.
Well, thank you all for watching. This has been Shit Talker, and we'll catch you next week. So don't go too far because we'll be there.
Yes.
Bye.
I love you, Sabrina.
Ooh.